Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, the Fijian Drua at home, taking on the Brumbies. Now, this is the first time ever that we see the Brumbies head into Fiji. It's going to be an entertaining game. It is a nice afternoon by the looks of it. Should be some fast-paced rugby being played, and both of these sides actually relatively evenly matched at the moment. And the reason I say that, the Brumbies came in first of all as favourites, but as the days have developed and as we saw that first day of Super Rugby, Drua have actually taken over the favourites option. So I feel like this one could be very 50-50, but overall, hopefully, it's going to be a very entertaining game. But looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, first of all, the home side, the Fijian Drua. In the front row, it is Hireti Hatit alongside the co-captain Tavera Ikanaveri and Samu Tawake in that number 3 jersey, Vofi. At 4, with Rotui Solia slotting in at 5, and then Joe Tamani, Kitioni Salawa, and Ilia Thanakai as that loose forward trio. So no Deria Langi, who a lot of people would have remembered from that Fijian Drua season last year, but overall, very strong loose forward trio. Thanakai he brings pure power, also an extremely dangerous man when it comes to an open space on the field. So hopefully he gets a fair crack in this matchup. Kuravuli at 9 with Caleb Muntz slotting in as the fly half. Kimu Valetini and Osifo Masi are the midfield combination. Could really find some danger out there if that ball is coming nicely. Karawa Levu out on one wing. Ponipati Loganamasi, a lot of people will know him from the Fijian 7 setup. A phenomenal player. And he also got a debut for Fiji, I believe it was last November. Managed to score himself a couple tries there and can certainly be one to watch out for. And then at number 15, Izakeli Rabitu to close out this Fijian Drua lineup. Looking through at the Brumbies side, it is Blake Scoop in the front row alongside Billy Pollard and Pochueka at 3. Then in the lock-in duo, Lachlan Shaw gets a chance at 4 with Tom Hooper slotting in as the 5. Tuna Tuitama, or Tui Lima, I should say, is going to be there as the 6. Luke Reimer as the 7. And then it is Rory Scott at 8. So they've got a little bit of a switch here compared to what we would normally see. No Rob Ballatini in that loose forward trio here for the Brumbies. Ryan Lonergan and Nola Alicio, they will be the 19 combination. Anderson and Creighton in the middle. And then Corey Tall, Ollie Satspid and Andy Muirhead at number 15. So no Tom Wright for this match either. But looking through at the chat, we have got Hi Olin Hamish, says Robin. Hello. Says Kerr, hope you are doing extremely well, mate. And go the Drua go, says Bill. And going to be another awesome year cheering for the Drua boys. So Tosso Drua Tosso. And yeah, they've got quite a few home games. 7, I believe, in total. And hopefully they will be able to perform in front of that home crowd, just like they have in past seasons. They've caused some really impressive upsets playing in Fiji. The crowd always show up. The atmosphere is there. And I'm hoping this game will be in exactly the same. She just tried to kick that man in the face. That's what slightly distracted me. That's an interesting tactic on the sidelines. Hopefully there's no kicking other than, of course, the ball off the boot. But looking through at the benches, Dolakoto, Natave and Tuni will be there as the number 18. Mira and Tuwai at number 20. And then Frank Lamani, Penny Matawalu and Samo Vodre as the number 23. Right, they've actually said there, Glenn Jackson, the Fijian Drua head coach, he said that he thinks it's going to rain today. And he said that actually doesn't, dampen us too much, other than, of course, the wetness of the field. But the Drua, the last game that we saw, they were extremely strong. At least one of those ones that we can think back to, when it was completely flooded out there on the field, and they were absolutely loving it. Playing just in any conditions, rain or shine, the side's going to be strong. For the Brumbies, Lachlan Lonergan make his way off the bench. They have got Lely as well as Funnick. Then Cadron Neville. I'm surprised he wasn't starting, to be honest, but Lockie Shaw and Tom Hooper, definitely a dangerous lock-in duo. Goddard, watch out for him at number 21 when he does make his way off the bench as well. We have got there, nice relaxing day at sea today, so not bad, says Kerr. And Tosso Duro Tosso, says David. And Cool Hamish says Robert V. But yeah, you'll be slowly heading south, I would assume, at this point, Kerr. Hopefully you've seen plenty of decent weather. Once again, very hot here today. But it also looks pretty hot in Fiji, based on the amount of t-shirts we are seeing. A little bit of humidity. Just watch the Rugby 25 Blues Cheese video, WTF. Yeah, the game, I'll be honest, we're not good at Rugby 25, me and George. But at the same time, I do think the game was slightly at fault to a certain extent. Who's refereeing today? I'm not actually too sure of the ref just at this point, but as soon as we do know, of course, I will let you guys know as well. They've got the picture for the Brumbies as Alan Alalato. Of course, he is not going to be playing in this contest. Quite a few of the big Brumbies players absent for this trip to Fiji. That is where the Drua, they can only play what's in front of them, and they can really look to push the tempo, try and wear out the Brumbies here. But looking through at the current table as well, for anyone who is curious about how these sides are sitting, of course, no games under the belt. The Reds have got the bye this week, so they will be sitting, well, they'll be sitting about middle of the table at the end of the round. Of course, you'd think because they haven't played any games, they would be lower, but currently the Hurricanes are lower than them because of the fact that they've got that points differential to deal with. But I don't think the Hurricanes will be at the bottom of the bunch for long. I think we will see a couple more sides down there. And the FIJIAN DRUA actually taking on the Hurricanes next week. So that will be a very awesome game as well. There are 3 games taking place on the Saturday. Hurricanes DRUA, Highlanders versus Blues, so the rematch of the Super Rugby Trans-Tasman final, and then Brumbies and Force in the evening to close out round 2. Chiefs and Crusaders, a rematch of Super Rugby Aotearoa's final, and also Super Rugby the year prior to last. So, another big game to watch out for, but a lot of derbies taking place. Hopefully this one does deliver. We saw an absolute blinder of a game taking place between the Waratahs and the Highlanders, back and forth, lead changes for days. Rob Bellatini injured. I'm not too sure whether or not he's out with the injury or whether it is just because they haven't decided to go with him because of, like, there's quite a few big players for the Brumbies out. I know that some of them are injury-based, but others are just, I think they're resting them, getting them ready for the next games. And don't see how anyone could be good. Rugby 25 gameplay looks horrific in every review I've seen. Yeah, like, I wanted to be as nice as possible about it because at the end of the day, the graphics side of things look better than any other rugby game, but I still prefer Rugby Challenges gameplay. I still prefer Rugby 08's gameplay. Still prefer that 2011 Rugby World Cup games gameplay. Like, something's just so broken with the passing that you can't even put 2 phases together without someone looking out of position or running into the wrong place. We're all optimistic about the Drua. Yeah, I feel like the Drua are everyone's second team to a certain extent. Yes, of course, for a couple of the New Zealand supporters, they'll have, let's say, the Hurricanes, then maybe the Chiefs. But then the Drua is always up there. John Alomu rugby gameplay is better, that's true. But yeah, like, graphics-wise, it looks great. You can tell who the players are, but graphics don't make a game when gameplay is such a key role in that game. Like, I want to do a career mode and all sorts. I want to do one as the Drua. I want to do one as the Hurricanes, as the Chiefs, as the Blues. But when you can't score a try throughout 80 minutes of rugby and you spend about maybe 75% of the time you're defending, that hurts. They just showed Noel Alessio last year, 506 metres made, 22 defenders beaten throughout his 15 matches that he did play. Just to very briefly mention about Rugby 25 again, I saw on Steam they have the achievements for doing certain tasks. Only 0.7% of people who have got the game have got the achievement score a try. Like, that tells you everything you need to know about how poor the game is in terms of gameplay-wise. The fact that only less than 1% of people who have played the game up till this point, in terms of the full release, have actually got a try. Like, me and George, I mean, to our credit, we got 3 across 2 games, but it's still not great when the opposition are scoring about 7 or 8 of them. The Drua now making their way out of the tunnel. Peter Ikanaberi and also Frank Lamani, the 2 co-captains. Oh. I've just mentioned about Glenn Jackson being the coach of the FIJIAN DRUA, the first ever New Zealander to referee 100 games of Super Rugby level and whatnot. Defenders beaten last season, 72 for Osefo Masi, 7 tries, 23 offloads. So that man has been busy. and he's definitely going to be one of the keys to watch out for throughout this season as well. I might wait a while to get it when I get around to buying the Ronan O'Gara LEX machine, says Kerr. But that's the thing, right? Like, the worst thing is they released it like as a full game, but they upped the price by like $40 or like $30 depending on where you are in the world. So like they made it more, but the game's less in a way. Is this on low difficulty? We were on easiest as the difficulty setting, and we couldn't get more than 5 phases without the opposition either stealing the ball or us getting called for a random offside. Currently, FIJIAN DRUA, they are on the field and they are fired up for this contest. Pre-match rituals taking place, and then we will be underway for this match. But yeah, on the easiest difficulty, it's like you have 25% possession if you're lucky, which is really bad. And you can also find yourself defending for like 20 minutes straight without being able to get a turnover. Are you going to do the Chiefs versus the Blues? In terms of the commentary, we certainly are. We're going to be doing it from about 2 hours, 20 minutes time. It's between the MSI Claw and the LEX, but I think the Claw will be outdated by next year and replaced. MSI and the LEX. I'll be honest, I might need to see like pictures of what these things are because I'm now very confused. I think it's like, is it like arcade machines? Maybe? And full 82 minutes draw today, says Reflecting Trees. What sport is the game you're talking about? Rugby 25 is the one we're talking about there. It's still not a great game, unfortunately. Oh, for a handheld console. Okay, I get you. That's an expensive handheld console. But I guess when you're travelling so much, it would work well. Angus Maybe will be the referee in charge of this one. Mike Winter, Stu Curran, and Marcus Playle will be the TMO. Hopefully won't be needed too much throughout this match. But of course, we will have to wait and see. Right, we're now ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. The first game of the season for the Brumbies, as well as the FIJIAN DRUA, being played at ANZ Stadium in Fiji in front of what looks like a relatively decent crowd. And the Brumbies kick off to get the game underway, and starting with some physicality. A big shot coming in from the Brumbies, and there's a knock on from the Drua. So exactly the start to the match that the Brumbies would have been after. Shame that the Reds have a bye, says Annoy. True, I would have loved to see them play as well, but of course with our 11 teams now, someone has to have the rest. And you'd have to ask the question, is it better to have a rest early in the season or relatively, like, you know, a little bit later on? I'd say later, isn't it? So the Reds, there might be a stage where injuries start to kick in later on when they've just gone back to back to back with week in, week out hard-hitting action. 2 relatively light 4-packs. Brumbies 883 kgs, 866 for the Drua. But, I mean, we saw yesterday 950 kgs out there on the park, which is just very, very big, to be honest. It's almost 90-ish kgs more. And this one, MSI Claw, is around 300 cheaper, but spec on the new LEX is wild, says Kerr. So is it like you can play Steam, like PC games on it, I assume? Or is it like you can play Xbox and PS5 games on it as well? My boy Lolicio says Ruslin. Hello, Hamish, been a while ago. The Hurricanes, says Darren. And yeah, they had a decent showing there up against the Crusaders. Just a few too many simple mistakes, I guess is the way to describe it. But they still looked like they were going to be very handy for the rest of the season. Now getting closer to the try line here. The Brumbies still 10 metres out. Now going off to the right-hand side. Chance for Austin Anderson, one of the newer players here for the Brumbies. Tackle releases the call from Angus Maybe. Now going off to the left. Brumbies with the wide cut-out pass. That's missed absolutely everyone, including the touch judge, whose head it's gone over. They did have the penalty advantage, though, so they will go back for that as well. A 950 kg, but penalty 5 metres out from the post and went for the corner. Strange. Yeah, it's an interesting choice, although the FIJIAN DRUA, to their credit, last year they were causing a few top sides problems with their scrums. Like Hereti Hatet Samu Tawake Tavere Ikanaveri, very good at having the chance of getting one back. But I still think that you'd still back your scrum, wouldn't you? Like we have seen it here, the first scrum of the game, And yeah, it was a good push. I believe. Now going back to the line out chance here for Lachlan Shaw. Trying to push his way towards that try line a little bit further. Using all that weight. Billy Pollard sitting with the ball at the back, just waiting patiently for his turn to go down over the line. Drua defending it well. Brumbies, they are going for it. They got told to use it a long time. Oh, he's just crawling forward there. Is that a try? Was he held? That just didn't look right, but I believe it's going to be a try for the Brumbies. I thought maybe they'd say that he crawled, propelled himself forward, but if he wasn't held, he is allowed to. Mid to late is much better as need round one to blow out the cobwebs. Billy Pollard, he will crawl his way to the try line. We'll hopefully see this from the other angle. I have to say, that whole use it once, you can take a very long time. FIJIAN DRUA have flick written on their butts, and of course an L and an I next to each other look like a different letter, so it looks like what the players would have been saying after conceding early. Yeah, no, that's you're allowed one motion. I think Pollard's taken two there. But the ref is happy. And try says Ruslan. And that kick has just snuck over. Yes, it has for Noel Alisio. So they will make the score now 7-0 in favour of the Brumbies. A good start to the match for the away side. Yeah, it's basically a full-on gaming PC, but handheld. And give it a Google. And when you get a chance, ROG. See, I thought that was Ronan O'Gara, and I think I said that the first time, didn't I? I thought it was like some sort of like memorabilia, but I was very wrong. Definitely a double movement, says Bill. Yeah, I'm surprised that it wasn't even looked at, to be honest. Just because, you know, there was definitely crawling involved, and it's just whether or not if he was held by a Drua player, then that normally does get cancelled out. I only played it at my cousin's joint. I just remember pressing all four buttons down, and Lomu just goes into steamroller mode. So here's annoying, nicely slapped back by the Brumbies. Now going off to the right-hand side. Chance for the left winger, Karawa Levu. Brumbies trying their best to get those turnovers in the breakdown. All that looked like an ugly clean out there, maybe even a knockout for Luke Raymer. Back up to his feet now, though. Sitting 45 metres out from the line here for the Drua. It'll be Rotui Solia. Quick pick and go there from Frank Lamani, the other co-captain. Just have to make sure that they keep a bit of possession here, the Drua, not allow the Brumbies to get a breakaway. Big tack and run from Wharakaivata. Back across to the right. Caleb Mump's flat ball to Vove. I don't think he expected it. I think he was just running forward as the dummy. Rotui Solia again has a little crack. Kimmy Valentini, that was a very poor kick. No one really saw it coming. And no one was chasing for the Drua, so it goes straight to Corey Toole. And now the Brumbies have got possession back, but 40 metres out from their own line. That'll be Tuilima. Kicked him behind from Ryan Lonigan, looking for the 50-22. I don't believe it would be one if it had gone out. Now, Rabitu does get it into touch, and it is going to be a line out for the Brumbies. Will they have water breaks every 20 minutes due to the heat? I would say so. I think that it is normally the case in Fiji that they give them a couple slight spells along the way, which is fair enough when you're playing in relatively hot conditions. Also the humidity, that's the killer for them. Approaching my 2-year membership anniversary with the Kiwi Lads. Time flies. It's already been 2 years. It's a very long time. But it also doesn't seem like a very long time. It only seems like yesterday we had that yellow hippo shirt and we were doing jumping jacks and all sorts on the live stream with me and George in the lounge. And are you kidding, mate? Have you seen what time it is? I wait time zones, says Sebastian. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting time for you guys in the north as well as South Africa. But the next game, a little bit better. It's going to be Chiefs versus Brumbies. Chiefs versus Blues. That is 7:05. That looked a little bit forward there from the Brumbies, so they will go back for the scrum in favour of the Drua. breakdown. Should give you a co-host crack for an episode anyhow, yeah. Says Reflecting Trees. I don't think they would. I think they'd be more likely to bring on an ex-rugby player than random YouTube fellow. Be interesting, though. And while Brumbies already scored, not surprised, draw or bad, says Optimist. To be fair, though, you could argue that it wasn't really... Like, it depends on how you look at that try, but yes, like, they probably were going to concede anyway at some point because of how close they were to their own line. And Brumbies were just applying the pressure. That's a quick throw taken by Andy Muir. He'd only just travelling the 5 metres in field. Now looking for the 50-22. Handled at the back for the draw. 10:45 p.m. here in the east coast of the USA. Caleb Muntz. And this one downfield. Nicely taken at the back. Is it going to rain there? Glenn Jackson seemed to think so. Oh, that's a very late clean out from the Rotui Soli. I know he's a big man, but I think he could have changed direction a bit earlier than he did. But it will be a knock on first from the Brumbies, they say. Right. Now, if the TMO doesn't get involved for this, it's fine. But if he's getting involved for this, but not that try, that would be slightly unfortunate. High scoring, close games yesterday. Already looks like a decent Super Rugby season, says Sebastian. Yeah, that Waratahs Highlanders game, like, no one was tackling, it seemed anyway, by the end of it. But, like, it just went back and forth. I think there were 6 different try-scoring, like, lead changes near the end. And it just kept on going. Did we meet 200 feet underground at the Hide and Seek Championships in 2014, says Optimist? No, sadly I got disqualified for them. So I wasn't attending that one. Where to watch for free? Got money on the Brumbies, says Jason. For free is tricky. The highlights will be up on YouTube afterwards, but unfortunately there's not really a huge amount of free options for Super Rugby. A lot of them are behind, like, payments. And the Aussie dudes can take the damage, and they just get better, says Iron Lion. And Tosso says Tania, or Taina, I should say. And not looking forward to change the time zones for me in a few days, New Zealand to Miami. Yeah, that'll be a pretty brutal one, won't it? I've always wondered how I'd go in a different location with another time zone, mainly because of how broken I have made my own sleeping schedule. Traveling back in time, a whole day, Kerr, says Sebastian. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it. The fact that you can sit on a plane for like 20 hours and you're still on the same day by the end of it and still like the same time. Now, Kuravoli getting the ball in for the draw. 10 minutes in, and that's a knock on from Caleb Muntz. Just an early mistake there. Can't afford to be doing that. Drua aren't winning. I'm Fiji, no point having faith in this team, says Optimus. That's just the wrong mindset, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people at the game who have still supported the FIJIAN Drua through their ups and downs. And you got to remember, this is an early side. Like, in terms of their shelf life in Super Rugby. Like, a lot of these guys have only had 1 or 2 seasons under their belt. But, like, there's still a long time. And they are making drastic improvements. Making it through, I believe, to the top 8. Yes, they were quarterfinal up against the eventual winners, the Blues, last year. But if you look at the wins that FIJIAN Drua have been able to get throughout their short stint, very impressive. Roy Amish, you guys got Hungry Jacks in New Zealand. Hungry Jacks, do we have? There's Wendy's. Hungry Jacks, though, for us is Burger King. So Australia have Hungry Jacks, but they're not the same. People keep on telling me, or at least they did when we went to Australia, they said, oh, it's the same as Burger King. Ain't nothing like Burger King. There's like 3 things that are the same. The fries aren't even the same at Hungry Jacks and Burger King. So, yeah, a lot of differences, but like they're based off the same country or like the same company. Burger King is far superior, says Kerr. I do quite enjoy the Burger King down in Dunedin. That might have to be part of the road trip. Currently sitting 11 minutes into this contest, 7-0 for the Brumbies. Quite a few scrums early. Neither side fully dominating yet. We can all agree that Macca's is the worst. It depends on what you get from McDonald's. Their chicken nuggets have shrunk like big time. But like, I've recently, to be honest, it sounds like we're trying to get sponsored by Burger King, which I wouldn't mind, just to put it out there. But the Burger King nuggets, for me, have have gone up in the rankings. They're now above McDonald's for me, just because you get more bang for your buck. This sounds like a sponsored deal. It's just not, but yeah, I do like a bit of Burger King. Nice backline here. Corey Toole does like scoring tries, but he hasn't got through. Going here with Bonipati Loganamasi, and that is a drop ball. The slipperiness playing a factor. We got Popeyes in New Zealand. Burger King is the best fries, says Anoi. And let's go to Brumbies, says Gabriel. Not happy about it either. Oh, the big man, Tui Lima, just putting that one down. And Toso Drua, says Mohammed. A little bit earlier on as well. So we talked about Burger King or Hungry Jack's. While we're at it, we might as well ask, while we've got a scrum about to take place, Pizza Hut or Domino's, which way do people swing? Let me know. Our first impressions on Rugby 25, now that it's been released, please don't be too honest. Says Sebastian, honestly, although you said not to be too honest, like, me and George tried to play multiplayer, it's rough. Like, we've got the 2 videos now with me and George. One of them is our first impressions. The other is us playing Chiefs versus Blues. If you want to see what the gameplay is like, I would recommend checking those out. And it's just like, I'd wait for a couple more updates. We have got the Pizza Hut Domino's tastes fake. Just ate some for lunch, says Hanoi for the Burger King fries. Pizza Hut. Nice. Pizza Hut. Tell you what, Pizza Hut is dominating that one. Domino's has better toppings. It's probably fair. This is going to blow another sponsorship chance, but me and George got Domino's when we were away on holiday, and the best thing about it was actually the sides. The pizza itself was the worst part of it. And Taco Bell isn't in New Zealand, says, yeah, it is. It's in Dunedin, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Oh, no, sorry. Also, sorry, you said also, not isn't. I got you. I just can't read. A Pizza Hut for the UK anyway. Domino's gone downhill. Pizza Hut has the better pizza base. Domino's has better toppings. Domino's isn't pizza. But now penalty goes the way of... Oh, no, sorry. Drew are actually kicking that one out on the full. So it's going to be a Brumbies line out. What do you prefer? I'm a Pizza Hut guy. Fat Pizza's Pizza. I haven't had Fat Pizza's Pizza. Oh, nicely taken by Tui Lima. Another knock on. Or at least it looked like it from Satsford. Looks like it's going to be play on, though. Who is butter chicken on pizza? Bloody Domino's, says Reflecting Trees. To be fair, butter chicken and a pie is not too bad. That's going to be another knock on here from the Brumbies. It seems like every time we get 2 phases, someone's dropping the ball. So it's been hard to find that rhythm of the match as of yet. Taco Bell is a disaster in the UK and US. Yeah, Tui Lima just popping out. Drew a scrum, says Gabriel. Yep, another scrum feed. Most of the games, actually, now that I think about it, for Super Rugby, at least Waratahs versus Highlanders did as well. A lot of early errors, and then as the match wore on, both sides did get a lot better. I just keep making silly mistakes. I'm Fijian, so nobody come for me. Looking like rain on the way. Says Kurt. Yeah, it does seem like it's going to be bucketing down later on. At least that's what the Fijian Drua coach thought, but he said that would actually benefit them. But I don't think it's benefiting anyone at the moment with the amount of drop balls that we've seen. There's Valentini. He's hiding his head by the looks of it. And rain not good for the Drua. Yeah, although the coach literally said, he was like, yeah, I think that would actually help us. Which is interesting. So I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. I was asking about Rugby 25 because I also own it. Haven't launched it yet. I don't want to bludgeon my controller. You know, I wouldn't open it unless you just want to look at player faces. In that case, go for it. But if you're trying to play a game, like even watching AI versus AI, they struggle to turn the ball over a lot. Nice flat ball, Tavita Ikanaveri busting through, has the man with them, and Lamani will score it between the posts. And that is exactly what the Draw were after, being able to get themselves back on the board for the 2025 season. Good morning from London. Cheers for the live commentary. Says Nick, welcome in, mate. If you are doing well, will you live stream the Blues game tonight? We certainly are going to. Nothing beats a good fish and chip takeaways. Says Mr. Billy. And morning, Nick's welcome in, says Sebastian there. And I'm getting hungry, says Kerr. We have talked about food a lot, to be fair, in the early stages. Happy Valentine's Day to all the ladies. Oh yeah, you're in the US, aren't you, Robert? So that makes sense for us here in New Zealand. We've had our Valentine's Day. Pizza Hut actually do a heart-shaped pizza for Valentine's Day, I believe. That's a bit of fun. Not a sponsor yet. We're working on it. KFC should be classed as a Class A drug, says Ian. I hope the draw will lose, says Optimus. See, you say you're from Fiji, and before you were saying, like, you seem to not like the drawer for a guy from Fiji. So, like, who is your team in that case, Optimus? Are you going to do Super Rugby, or are you doing Super Rugby Fantasy, and who's in your team? Nah, didn't do it, because I'm terrible at predictions, as you guys know. Going for food means going to the passenger area. Can't be bothered getting changed. Can they room service? Surely you can get something to the door, can't you? Or is it because it's so late? Well, it's not late, is it? Because you're New Zealand, Australia, so someone should be able to deliver, shouldn't they? Now that's going to be a loose ball. Caleb Muntz cleans it up. I support everyone except Fiji. I'm Fijian. So that makes no sense, but I guess each to their own. Who is where in the world? I feel like we have a pretty good mix in today. Yeah, I think we're ticking off quite a few different countries. We've already had the UK. We've got, I believe, a couple Australians who room service. I've got to wait till 6-ish. And let's go. The draw, says Felipe there. And good clearing kick from Kuruvoli. Another line out. Billy Pollard, the lone try scorer for the Brumbies. 18 minutes into this contest. They are yet again in possession. Ryan Lonergan goes back across to the right-hand side. Noel Alessio hit a little bit late there. Andy Muirhead picked up and dropped. Corey Toole keeps the ball alive. It's anyone's for the taking. Another knock-on from the Brumbies. And we'll go back for another scrum. I wonder if I'm nearby anyone in my upcoming travels. Possibly. We've got a couple guys from Christchurch and Dunedin, so like that coastline, maybe. Right, Andy Muirhead does not look too flash. I believe he was in a tip tackle situation in the Tron here. We're going to see the replay. Andy Muirhead getting rid of the ball. And then... yeah, that doesn't look too good. He slightly jumped into it a bit, but yeah, time's off. They're going to check this one. I think this is going to be probably a yellow card for the FIJIAN DRUA for a tip tackle. Kind of Blackpool Kerr, the jewel of the north. Right. Referee has to run the full length of the field to be able to check the screen here. Right. So, picked up. He's dropped awkwardly too. That was really dumb from the Drua. Because they were about to have the scrum and there was no need for it. I'm trying to work out what number it is. It's not Punipati Loganamasi because he's there. It's not Osefu Masi because he's there too. I think is it Frank Lamani? Yeah, they're going to go yellow card here. I'm back in the UK till April. Or not back in the UK, sorry. I headed to Miami, then Galveston, then Orlando before then. If you smoke, you'll get high. You read, you get educated. Both at the same time, you're highly educated. Can't argue with that logic. And kia ora everyone from Melbourne, says Matthew. Okay, 15. It's actually Izakeli Rabitu. Didn't he jump is the question from Tavita Ikanaveri. And even if he does jump into it, you do still have to find a way of slightly putting him down nicely. So Izakeli Rabitu. First yellow card for the FIJIAN DRUA of the year. Could be the first of many. We've already seen one yellow for Scott Barrett as well. One for... who else got one? Caleb Tangitau. He got a yellow card. Mitchell Dunshay. He got one too. They love doing dumb things raw. One thing they're consistent at doing, says Reflecting Trees. Now, it's going to be the chance to kick towards the touchline for Noah Lalicio. And... it would have been a kickable 3. So the fact that they are willing to go so aggressive here is great to see. Got that attacking mindset. Thank you for bringing the rugby to South Africa, says VI Tech. No worries at all. And we are going to be back for the URC games later on. Match between the Lions and the Stormers, as well as the game between the Sharks and the Bulls. And then after that game's finished, I will have about an hour and then I'm getting in a vehicle. But it is a vehicle that I know I'm getting in, so that's like I'm not being kidnapped. Try by the Brumbies. Says Gabriel now passing off to the left-hand side. Noel Alessio going nicely to Corey Tall. Passes out wide. Ollie Sapspid does get the try. And that'll be the second match try for the Brumbies now. Scott Barrett collecting cards like he's a Pokemon player. Says Bill, yeah, managed to get one within like 4 minutes of the game starting, which was extremely impressive. Chatters slam and draw hard. First game, lad, says Sebastian. Oh, they're going to have a drinks break by the sounds of it. I can't believe we're 21 minutes into this game. And Easy Peasy says reflecting trees, not being lured in by sweeties. An evening in the back of a van, says Occur. Yeah, not that I know of anyway. I think that car ride's going to involve a little bit of sleeping. And then I'm going, as you know, in some sort of floaty device. Where are you on the East Coast, Bill? And how's the crowd? Still relatively full for the first match of the season. I think that it will be even more full next week, though, when it is the Fijian Drua versus the Hurricanes. Had some great Fijian players in the past. That one's going to be missed away to the side for Noel Alessio. That's going to keep the score at 12 points to 7. Right into the drinks break. North Carolina, tell you what, we will have a drinks break as well, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who wants to grab a drink or something, we've got like 2 minutes till they get back underway as the players are also quenching their thirst. Playing a bit of T-Swift at the ground by the sounds of it. Bit of Shake It Off. And floaty device. It's a skydive simulator, basically. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Because I never had plans of skydiving. But then I guess you can fall a lot less distance in a simulator than you can in an actual device. But I still can't guarantee I won't slam into the floor of it. Which would be good content, not so good for me. Just reviewing footage by the looks of it for the Brumbies, just talking about what they did well in that try. And nice, knew a few guys that moved out there from the UK. Yeah, just the drinks break. 12 points to 7, already 3 tries scored throughout this matchup. Still another 8 minutes of a man advantage for the Brumbies, so that is something to really try and make the most of. Fiji struggles against structured team opposition, says Dion Sands. Welcome in, Dion. Hope you're doing well. If those people aren't leaving, it looked like they might have been, though. We're only 21 minutes in. Still plenty of match to go. Always good when people lie about their weight to go on it, not realizing there's a limit for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, I saw, is it 300 pounds or something? 120 kgs? Or something like that, I think it was. Although that doesn't equal the same, of course. I saw that I was under the limit anyway, which is good news. Too much cover, FIJIAN DRUA, says Ruslin. That's the thing, like, they will be a little bit rusty at the start. You're doing a great job, and thanks for describing the game, says the VI Tech. No worries at all, 140 kgs. Says Kernell, nice break and run for Hudson Creighton. That was almost a tip tackle as well. Got to be very careful. Last thing that the draw want is to be down to 13. My mate's wife asked him, where are you taking me for Valentine's Day? He responded from behind. What a romantic man. He probably got to sleep on the couch. But now, sitting 10 metres out from the line, Caleb Muntz to kick this one towards the touchline, does get it out. I was watching the Crusaders versus Hurricanes highlights and saw Brad Shields in the black and yellow, reminiscent of his Wasp days. Yeah, I do miss the Wasps, because like when you look through at their squad, there were a lot of Kiwis in there. There was Fekatoa, there was Brad Shields, Jeffrey Tuamunga-Allen, I think, was in there as well. And then you also had, at times, Lima Sopawanga, who still, in some people's opinions, goes down as one of the worst premiership signings ever. But he also had some decent moments. Jimmy Goff, he was there. I don't know where Jimmy is now. So is Lamani out, yellow card. What position is he playing if Kuravuli is halfback? Says Mr. Billy. So that's actually a very good question. Yeah, so Kuravulli's out there. What number's Lamani today? He might be 12, is he, rather than Valentini? Why have they got 2 9s out? You've actually made a very good point, Mr. Billy. Because Caleb Muntz is out there too. Have they had a late change here for the Fijian Drua? So I'm sure it was Lamani who scored it, but Kuravulli is definitely at 9. I thought Lamani was on the bench. Oh, he might have been, maybe he was on for an HIA or something. But yeah, I'm sure Lamani scored the first try of the match, didn't he? Or at least that's who the commentators said scored it, and it looked pretty similar to Lamani if it wasn't him. Right, it's going to remain a yellow card. Lamani was on the bench on the lineup. We're going to have a look here. Who scored the first try? He's shown Caleb Muntz converts the try. Oh, it's Simeone Kuravulli, they've said, who scored the first one. I swear it was Lamani, or they must have called him Lamani. But yeah, Kuravulli must have scored that first one. That makes more sense. But then they also said, I think they've got him confused, because earlier on the commentators also said Lamani as the 2 co-captains when he was running the ball. I've confused myself. But yeah, Kuravulli's starting at 9. Lamani's been mentioned a lot for not being out there on the field. I saw Bobby Skinstad has brought the 2nd Division French side as well. Right, this is another decision going to the TMO. I believe this is for a deliberate knockdown. When I did a bungee jump, you got weighed so they can make sure you get the correct bungee cord. Yeah, like some people go, oh, I'm offended because they want to know how much I weigh, but it's like literally so that you don't like die. Like that's the point of it. Yeah, it is a deliberate knockdown. They had numbers on the outside too. This might be a bit of trouble. Oh, it's another yellow card for Karawalewu. They're down to 13 again here, the drawer. The season has not started well, at least for the first 25 minutes anyway. That is now 2 yellow cards. And like I've said, it's just allowing the Brumbies to apply even more pressure than they already are. But Pimpy says 9HD. The Wasp, Warstay and the Warriors, London Irish, I missed them all, so sad seeing seeing rugby clubs go. At least we've got the honour of covering games involving all of them. Now, short side, Lonergan breaks the line and he scores in the corner. That looked a little bit too easy for the Brumbies there. Right, they just want to check it to make sure there was a good grounding, and it's not like, yeah, yell out your weight. Not like they will even remember your weight after, says Novmum. I'll have to weigh myself probably tomorrow morning and work out how much I am, just so that I assume they'd weigh me anyway. But will be interesting. Haven't weighed myself since the wedding, so that's either good or bad. And trying to remember who brought the club with Skinstad. I need to Google it, but I'm sure it's Andrew Murdens, says Kerr. But yeah, just really nicely done on the short side. Right, referee says it's all good too. Now going to make the score 17 points to 7. 1 try away for the Brumbies to getting a bonus point, or at least the equivalent of one, if that's what the score at the end of the game is. 17-7, not exactly a flattering scoreline. Early on, Nololisio, in fact, misses the kick again. And London Irish will be back. Eddie Jordan bought them out this week, says Kerr. And the cool thing is, like, now that we've got Rugby 25, even though it's not great at the moment, once gameplay is good, we can put all those sides back in. You know, we can have virtual teams. A whole heap of players available too with the amount of teams that they've got in the game. Little bit of a shame about the Japanese top league though, because that means we don't get the face scans and the likeness of those guys. But 17 points to 7, draw down by 10. And they are also down 2 men. Big shot from Rotoi Solia. Luke Raymer. Once again, getting this ball out wide for the Brumbies. Hudson Creighton tries to get around Vothi. Offload Muirhead. Goes to Lolesio, who's knocked it on 22 metres out from the line. Who do you think will win, Chiefs or Blues today? I think that the home field advantage for the Blues will just get them over the line, but I do see it being a relatively close game. Or at least I hope it is anyway. So Kuravuli is yellow carded instead of Lamani. No, so the first yellow card was for the fullback, Ezekiel Rebetu, but Kuravuli scored the first try rather than Lamani. So that's where he comes into it. And then for the other yellow card, it was Karawalevu. Unpopular opinion, I would have had the Japanese top league licensing in favour of the MLR. I do think it would have been harder to secure the top league rights, though. Like, it would have been awesome to have it. And I feel like that's where we'll probably miss a few of the face scans of certain players. But yeah, I think it was more to do with the licensing costs, probably. Just speculating here. Don't have a huge amount of inside knowledge, but yeah, I think it was more so that side of things rather than like anything else. Who's going to be second five for the All Blacks? I mean, they might look at Geordie Barrett. They might look at Quinn Tupaia. Could look at, I mean, even if they're going even younger, Riley Higgins, someone like that could be on the cards. David Havili, who Razor will like, definitely after the fact that he had a decent game for the Crusaders. They've got a few options. Anton Leonard-Brown could be. I'm not sure how much for this for his F1 share. He is sold now, but he bought London Irish at the start of the week and wiped out their debt in full. It seems he plans on a massive cash injection. Right, the Fijian Drua actually going to take on the 3 points here after receiving the penalty. So that now means that will put them down by 7 and also uses up a little bit more time off the clock, which could be very important just at this point. Where will they be based? Brentford still? It's a good question. Right, we'll go like this. We will go like that as well. Now months. It's this one and does get it over. That will now make the score 10 points to 17. If the draw can hang in there throughout this first half, I know that it sounds weird to say already, seeing as we're so early on in the match, but if they can hang in there and they can stay, let's say 7 points down going into halftime, they will still have a chance, but they have to make sure that they don't concede again. With a two-man disadvantage, that's quite hard to do, but Tavera Ikanaveri, nice run forward from him. Now looking both ways here for the Drua, and Kuravuli will kick it high. Just checked, it is Andrew Mertens. They bought the Pro D2 side with Skinstead. They are planning on being very involved in it. Are going to be top 14 by the end of next year for sure. There's going to be another knock-on, this time coming from the Brumbies, which means the Drua have the scrum. They're missing 2 of their backs, but none of their forwards are off the field, so that is extremely beneficial, as they should still be able to get a good push in. One moment, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. Like I've just said, no Dirialangi, which means that the likes of a Thanakai Vata, Joe Tamani, they do get more chances in this starting side. Mertz must be cashed up from his rugby commentary gigs, says Annoy. Now feeding this ball in. Going to go off to the left-hand side for the Drua. Sefomasi beating over 70 defenders last year. It's been quite quiet throughout the first 31 minutes of this season. Kolavuri again. Going across. Samu Tawake gets through 1 year same ground. Said that he wants to get them steady, then implement a fan ownership system, for part of it at least. Says Kerr. Nice. Sounds like they've got a decent plan for it, which is good news. Blake Scoop has to get out of that breakdown. They're asking for the penalty there, the draw. They will not get it. I was trying to hold in that yawn, but I couldn't do it. And jaw was cramping. Are the Brumbies so unpopular that the voting is against them, or is it the case of them voting for the underdogs? Well, interestingly enough, right, like at the start when these teams were going to be playing each other, and the betting odds, the Brumbies were favourites. Today when I checked, the draw were actually favourites. So based off that, you could say that the poll is more accurate based on the betting odds. But then at the moment, of course, draw down by 7 is going to make it tough unless they do score relatively soon. But yeah, the Brumbies went from being favourites to underdogs overnight. Waratahs and Crusaders in the final 2025, says Nix. Looks like once again the draw are going to go for the 3 points. Yeah, not rolling away there from Austin Anderson. French team they bought, already 11-time French champions, so a lot of history in the club, says Kerr. Now Caleb Muntz had a decent day off the kicking tee. I know that technically they're the rival of the Quins, being based in London, but I don't mind them, unlike the Saracens who can wholeheartedly piss off. It seems to be, once again, like, it's similar to the Six Nations, how everyone goes anyone but England. It seems to be anyone but Saracens when it comes to the Premiership side of things. I would have preferred Rugby 25 focus on gameplay and pour money into that, even if it meant way less club teams in the game. Would you take the teams in Rugby 25 with Rugby Challenge gameplay? Yeah. Yeah, I think me and George talked about it, how if they had the amount of licensing in Rugby Challenge, let's say if they brought out Rugby Challenge 5, fixed a couple of the glitches, and then, you know, had all the licensing that they have for Rugby 25, it would actually be a really solid game. But, you know, like, the gameplay's so bad at the moment for Rugby 25, and I don't know what's gone so wrong. Like, I think it's because they've tried to build it with a league foundation in terms of the programming, because a lot of it still looks like Rugby League, and Rugby League had its own fair share of problems in the games. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see what the plan is moving forward. But I also think that they probably had to release it soon because of licensing agreements. If they had waited too much longer, certain teams would have been dropping out. Plus, you're also in that situation of, like, having, it's going to be also an accidental knock-on that time from Korovuli. But yeah, you'd also be in that situation of teams not being up to date. Same developers made a woeful AFL game. They don't have a good track record, says Xavier. Oh, that's a forward pass out wide. Ollie Satsford receives a ball on the inside. Tried to find the referee. The ref says, I do not want it, sir. But yeah, clear forward pass from the Brumbies out wide. That was let go. And now running down the wing, pace, and just driven into touch for Puripati Loganamasi. I don't think it's a coincidence that Saracens is where Igman played, and that's the team everyone hates. True. Yeah, he was kind of the face of them for so long, wasn't he? Dreaming is still very much in it, though. Or Drua, sorry, very much in it. Yeah, like, as long as they don't concede again, like I said, they can shut it down. That's going to be another knock-on, this time from Ollie Satsford out wide. And this is using up some great time. And I believe that's at least one player returning now. Karawa Levu's time might also be up. And Rabitu, he'll be able to make his way on too. This Brumbies team is a far cry from the days of Gregan and Larkham. That was the team us South Africans love to hate, says Roger. I think the Blues will win 25 points to 17, says James Speed. Okay, so that's honestly not a mile away from what I predicted. I think I said Blues by 10. Or it might have been Blues by 8. It was one of those two. I think it was Blues by 10, though. And my drawer says Rose. A line-out throw for Tavita Ikanaveri. Challenge there from the Brumbies, and they managed to get the turnover at line-out time. Offloaded up. Lonergan now drops the ball. I don't know what's going on at the moment with the handling. I think it's a slippery ball. The humidity is playing a bit of a factor, but some really basic errors coming from these two sides, which we aren't really that used to seeing. Have you watched Uproar? I have not, no. Our chance in the air, Satsford doesn't manage to claim it. He's asking for the penalty, saying he was taken out in the air, but it's going to be the Brumbies line-out. And Tossa Boy says Rose. Only 3.5 minutes remaining. And who is Igmar from the series? That is, of course, none other than Owen Farrell, as who he's referring to there. I'd be interested to know, in terms of Rugby 25, how many players they've face scanned who are no longer at the teams. And I wonder if they're also in the game. That'd be quite cool if they were, like, in terms of the career mode. Nice stepping coming now, looking for the offload. That looked forward, but it's going to be the chance for the Drua out wide, and they will score. They might just check that, though, to make sure that it wasn't forward. It may have actually brushed a Brumbies hand, and that's what made it go backwards, which is why it was play on, but they will check this. But if it is a try, sorry, Ponapati Loganamasi rather than Karawalevu as the man who scores it. Right, we're going to see the replay here. Does this go forward? I don't think it hits the Brumbies, man. And I think from the side on, they're saying it has gone backwards. New Zealand film about Māori boy during the box tour in 80s to New Zealand on the writing. Not bad, worth watch. Says Kerr there. Ponapati Loganamasi once again showing his class. And the Drua somehow are in the lead. $250,000 for some. I can't even catch the bloody ball. Says reflecting trees. Now. Caleb Muntz already has 8 points in this match. This is to extend the lead for the Drua. And the kick is over. And there we go, Drua heading into halftime with the lead. Yeah, no one would have been picking it. That is for sure. But they've managed to come back. They pretty much, I guess the best way of describing it is they dealt with the storm. They rode it out. And then they scored late to give them a good lead in this contest. I know that 3 points doesn't sound like a good lead, but in this type of game, yep, you do need just a little bit in your favour. I've missed Super Rugby, says Bill. Yeah, it's great to have it back. 5 games each weekend up until about round 7, I think, where we go back to 4. But we're going to be covering, I'm not going to say we're covering 100%. I'll say probably about 80% of games Super Rugby this year we're going to be covering. A majority of the big games we are going to try and really make sure that we can. But yeah, with the cricket season and also a few other overlaps, it's going to make it a bit more difficult. The likes of next week, I'm not too sure what to do there for Hurricanes versus Drua. Like, as much as I want to cover that game, I think that cricket team are already planning on being short. So that one's going to be interesting. I wish the World Cup started in the 70s when the strong Welsh in the box could have played. Says Annoy, and funny thing is, film was set in the 80s. Doesn't look that different to a lot of South Island places today. Says Kerr. Now going to the short side. You're definitely like Oamaru. You're looking at a lot of older buildings around the area. Same with Dunedin. Now going off to the right. Trying to creep that little bit further forward. Now, high kick coming from Nola Lucio. Corey Toole chasing after it, slaps it back onto his team's side, and then Hudson Creighton hit him in the knee and bounced into the hands of the Drua. Halftime siren just about to sound, which should mean that they are able to put this ball into touch. Take it as halftime. Ball is still there, a little bit of a counter ruck coming from the Brumbies. They've been told to use it now, the Drua. That is the halftime siren now, I believe. No, in fact, they're going to keep on playing for a little bit longer. That siren must not have sounded just yet. Clock says 40 minutes 37. I'm not sure when the halftime break will actually be. Last foot they're asking for. Yeah, they're just going to keep on going phase after phase here, the Drua, and hope that they either get themselves the penalty or hoping it will be halftime. Who do you think will win between the Satyrs and the Chiefs? Would be an interesting one, right back in the pocket this time, and now it goes into touch. The Crusaders, they look pretty strong up against the Hurricanes, a lot more together than we saw last year, and I think that could have been because of that inclusion of Will Jordan. A couple big forwards back as well. Good afternoon, Hamish. Arrived late. A good day to fire up our Weber chuck. A few snags on chicken wings, says JD. And noon to you, Hammy. What's up? Says Spider-Meat. Welcome in. Currently 20 points to 17 the score in this first half. The Drua, they look down and out at times, and then they've come back and somehow been leading by 3 at ANZ Stadium heading into the second half. At set in Dunedin, pretty sure they didn't need to change too much. Much set up before filming, not a bad thing at all in my opinion. Yeah, they have quite a few nice old school heritage type of buildings down there. Even just like the massive train station that's down there does look extremely cool. Definitely at night. But half time for this one. 3 points difference. 2 more games coming up tonight. Blues taking on the Chiefs as the 7:05 kickoff. And then the last game of the day and the round, it is going to be happening at 9:35. And that is Western Force versus Moana Pacifica. Now, that is the one game that we are sacrificing for the weekend, which I know won't be that popular because, of course, Adi Savi are going to be making his debut in a Super Rugby match for Moana Pacifica. But that is the game that we're going to be pretty much sleeping during so that we can do the 2 games throughout the night as well. Didn't even realise the extent of rioting in New Zealand at the time, though. Eye-opener. Says Kerr. I lost heavily today, Hemi. The Warriors gave us a hiding. Says Spider-Mick. Yeah, not ideal. And also we have got there, let's go the Force. Says Reflecting Trees. But yeah, that is going to be the game that we won't be doing, but we are doing Lions versus Stormers as well as the other matchup that's taken place between the Bulls and the Sharks. And that'll take us right through to about 6 a.m. New Zealand time. So plenty of action still to come on the channel. This is the first of 4 for the day. Next weekend is going to be brutal because there is Vancouver Sevens on as well. So there's going to be like 50 overlaps that we have to try and work out how to deal with them. Brumbies 3 points down, GG, says JD. In fact, I've got it here. In terms of next weekend, so the Vancouver Sevens, in terms of when it starts at 8:18 a.m. on Saturday morning. Of course, Friday night, we've got the 2 games of Super Rugby. What are the pool teams for next week's Vancouver Sevens, says Mr. Billy. So in one pool, it is Fiji, Uruguay, USA, and then also Spain. New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, and Australia are in another one, and then Great Britain, Kenya, Argentina, and France are in the other. And Brumbies 3 points down, and don't tell me that all Super Rugby games going to be 1 point in it, says Spider-Mick. Probably not, seeing as one of the first 2 was 8 points. But yeah, I'm hoping they're all close. Within 10 would be great for the whole round. But yeah, there are a lot of games that are going to be overlapping for next week, so we're going to try our best to be able to manage that and not have too many massive issues with it. But yeah, going to be a tricky one. Hoping for the best though. My wife's aunt is moving back to Scotland from Vancouver. She has suggested she can live with us until she finds and buys a house. Any wise words or strategies to share with me? So your wife's aunt. Okay. Is she tolerable? Because if she is, then you should be fine. But at the same time, like you are quite busy away from home, so you might not have to be there too much. So that could be considered good as well. Is Fiji using their backs much? Only in that last little bit, mainly because 2 of their backs were off the field with yellow cards. We did see Rabitu as well as Karawalevu both get sent from the field. Got another busy year. Great work. Keep it going. Says JD. Yeah, it's getting to that busy season, I almost said, but busy season. 6 Nations also taking place next week. Super Rugby, the Sevens. It's just going to be, we're going to be back to those 35 hours awake, 3 hours sleep kind of weekends, which are brutal, but we're going to try and get through them. 20 points to 17 at the moment between these 2 sides, not too far away from the second half and only an hour and a half away from the Blues versus Chiefs. Brumbies committing handling errors while 2 men up. This is new. Yeah, those knock-ons were brutal for the Brumbies because the amount of chances that they have had where they just needed to get it right, one more pass or one more phase, and they just kept missing out. Can New Zealand make a team for Pakeas only? Says Hanoi. Couldn't tell you. Then also, my wife has suggested this not the aunt. Yes, she is tolerable, but I say that having spent a few days with her, then she's gone. Buying a house could be a good few months. That is true. But yeah, if you're happy wife, happy life is the saying that goes around. Definitely around this Valentine's Day season. But yeah, who knows? It might be nice. Maybe. I don't have much experience in that department. But I'd say just do what you normally do, and you should be all right. Good to listen to Hamish commentary while cooking our barbecue. How lovely. Says JD. And come on, Fiji, says Moa Hunters. And, well, I overheard my mama ask Dad how about moving to England. I'm happy when Dad said not now, sometime in the future, Dad said. Says Spider Mick. Oh, yeah? Probably don't want to go at this time of year. It's quite cold over there at the moment. You want to at least wait till it's summer, and then it's still cold. I may need to move my records and turntable out of the garage, or out to the carriage with a sleeping bag. You could just, you've got a few months of her being there. Depending on how long till she gets there, you could extend. If you've got more space, maybe add like a, what's it called? A man cave. That sort of thing with your records and your, TV for the rugby. Just have a little bar fridge and whatnot. Be the way to go. You mean Pakistan, England? Says reflecting trees. And 35-46, says James Speed. Is that the end prediction for this game? Because honestly, it might not be a mile off. Both of these sides are scoring tries for fun when they get space. But it's just those handling errors for the Brumbies and the penalty, or the ill discipline, I should say. Yeah, look at their Brumbies winning in Fiji. Be like betting on Melbourne Cup. Yeah, it's interesting though, because the Brumbies did start as favourites. Then the FIJIAN Drua became favourites overnight. So it's as if everyone went, no, we're gonna start back in the home side. They have got a pretty good record in Fiji as well, we have to remember. I'm going nowhere, this is my home, says Spider Mick. Just showing that replay of Rabitu for his tip tackle on Andy Muirhead. Although her aunt is an excellent cook and constantly wants to feed us, or feed me, maybe I should consider this. That is true. A little bit of negotiations perhaps. Could be a good setup. And come on, the Drua, says Spider Mick. The Brumbies lose this game to the Drua. It'll be a very quiet flight home. Yeah, their first time ever playing in Fiji up against the Drua too. So, of course you want to make that history and be on the right side of it by winning it rather than having the loss. Well, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. But now, second half, I would like to think is not a mile away from taking place. One moment, there we go. And that says Dayton, Brumbies are arse. And Drua could hang on, but discipline will be key. I think Brumbies will edge it. You've pretty much summed up exactly how the second half could go in that regard. Like if the Brumbies take their chances, they'll win. And that sounds harsh against the Drua, but as you said, the discipline side of things is the difference maker. If the Drua can avoid giving away penalties, they have more than enough ability of winning this game. But if their ill discipline kicks in, then they will have no shot. What is that scoreboard called, says James Speed? It's off Flash Score, I believe is the name of it. But, yeah, it's quite good. It's got the time. Had an advertisement down the bottom, but I had to close that just because it had like a picture of a woman in like a bra. So I thought, well, even though that would increase some people's tolerance to me, I thought I'd better not have it there. But second half, very close. The problem with top team, they expect to win their game against weak opposition, and then they lost, says Spider Mick. And yeah, like the Brumbies are missing quite a few players from this game. No Rob Valentini, no Tom Wright. They haven't got Alan Alatoa, another guy that isn't there. But like, I know it's going to sound harsh, and this is what I said yesterday as well, so it's not just because they're sitting 3 points down up against the Drua. When I looked through at this Brumbies lineup yesterday, we talked about it on the Tars versus Landers. It didn't excite me in the same way that some past Brumbies sides had. It just seemed a little bit light. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they are the side from Australia that finish at the top this year, or whether, the Tars or the Reds, or even maybe the dark horse of the Western Force can be somewhere in the ballpark. We have got there, when they have front foot ball, it's okay, but if the Brumbies start pressing and back them into a corner, they will start to make the errors and lose the head. Yeah, so they just have to find a way of, when they have got the ball, the draw, just scoring quickly. Because if they don't, Brumbies are going to give them a bit of trouble. What? No, hell no. No, says Dayton. I assume that's to the Brumbies, like, finishing as not the top Australian side. Maybe? Wait, no, surely it's not, because you just said that the Brumbies are bad, like, 3 minutes ago. So was it that one, or maybe against just the Western Force being good this year? Got a lot of advertisements. Oh, we've got a bit of Hello Fresh. Trying to get me hungry. How long you've established this platform of yours? I think it's been, honestly, like 4.5 years of doing commentaries and whatnot. Like, we started off as a rugby gaming channel. In fact, before then, we had a few other videos that weren't rugby related. But, yeah, started off as rugby gaming. Then from there, we ended up going to rugby commentary as well, and a little bit of a split between the two. And now we're mainly doing the commentary, but then we've also got a few videos rugby related. And then now that Rugby 25's come out, we're slowly going a little bit back towards the gaming, but it's been a lot. Up the blues, says Dayton Long Haul right there. Says Reflecting Trees. Yeah, throughout that time we've done, it'll be well over 1,000 streams. We've probably released over 1,000 videos as well. Do you think the Blues will go back-to-back titles this year? Will be another team winning the title? I think that they'll be close. But at the same time, I think once you get to those top four, it's honestly, it's the chance of anyone's game. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how kind of closes out. So, yeah, I've just seen here we've got about 1,800 live streams on the channel. And, oh no, we're a bit light in the video department, only 722. Pressure equals carelessness, equals errors, equals desperation, equals penalty, says Kerr. Probably a fair assessment, really. And Wugo Panthers, says Kerr in there as well. Whose team have the All Blacks, or have the most All Blacks in it, Hammy? So the Blues have got quite a few. Chiefs on their given day have quite a few as well. Crusaders don't have as many as they used to, but they still have a decent number. And then the Hurricanes are about the same. You've seen the new Reacher Season 3? I think my parents are watching it. I haven't seen even the first or the second season. I've learnt recently I'm really not schooled up in terms of watching things. Like, TV shows, I've seen hardly any. Movies, I've watched like none. But I need to change that. So I'm going to slowly, throughout like the quiet times of the year, which at the moment haven't existed, throughout those times, I'm going to watch a bit more like of stuff. Hello, says Naja Cat. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. And Andrew winning. What are the chances, says Unknown. Yeah, they were coming back quite nicely. They were down at half, or no, sorry, they weren't down at halftime. They were down to 13 in that first half and then still managed to find a way back into the match. So it is a credit to them. Hopefully they continue to do quite nicely. And very funny, Kerr, says Spider Mech. What's that one for? Whose team? Oh, I get you. Yep. I've just realised what that is for. Now, second half, just about to take place. I do see that there's already at least one change being made here for the Brumbies. Scotland have the most box, says Kerr. Yeah, I saw there was a number of, like, the percentages of foreign players, and Scotland were actually the highest of the bunch with like 43% or something, I think it was. Which is impressive. But now, second half just about to take place. The Drua need a good start here. Can't afford to find themselves getting behind. Right, they're ready to go. By the looks of it, we ready to go? Yes, we are. Referees just making sure they are all sorted, and that's going to be nicely claimed by the Brumbies. Ryan Lonergan is back across to the left-hand side. Powerful tackle made by Tavera Ikanaveri. Looks like a sub has been made in the Fijian Drua front row too. I think it's Samu Tawake is off and number 18 made his way on. And Scotland, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Is Celestino Ravatamanda injured? I believe so. That's the only reason I can think of why you wouldn't have him in this lineup. Now, chance early on for another scrum. That one's going to be knocked on by Corey Toole in the end. But I will say New Zealand, South Africa, Australia were populated from the UK, large parts of the population, so we just circle around. That is true, like way back in the day. It's really weird when you think about how Australia and New Zealand at one point were a part of a big island with a whole heap of other areas of land. Or at least that's what they say. Mostly Irish, says Reflecting Trees. And the Brumbies says too wavy, but now ball fed in by Kuravuli. Half of New Zealand is named after Scottish places. Yeah, and the North Island used to be New Munster, didn't it? And the South Island, New Leinster or something like that. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Who's going to win, my friend? Well, at the moment, it's very hard to say. If the Fijian Drua's discipline is good, they should win this game. But if they do end up becoming ill-disciplined, I think the Brumbies should take it. So that's going to be the key. Not giving away penalties. Ball's available again to the right-hand side. Mostly criminals, says Kerr. Now rolling this one back. Kuravuli again will look to send this one high. Almost charged down. Good effort coming from the Brumbies, number 5. Who does slap it back onto their side just a little bit more now. Billy Pollard, numbers, quick hands to Noah Lolesio, close to that touchline. That's a really late clean out. And they're going to go back for the original penalty, but that one did not look too good. Unfortunately for Noah Lolesio. My question is, why didn't we move to the nice warm places and leave the criminals in the cold? Are we staying in the freezing cold like idiots, says Kerr. And Irish-Scottish settled in Dunedin and Christchurch, says Spider Mick. Right, are they going to check this one from the box kick? Is Joe Tamani playing well? I will be honest, I don't think I've said his name yet. I've seen him enter a few breakdowns, but I don't think he's had a huge amount of carries just yet. Dunedin, Dundee, Edinburgh, says Kerr. There you go. And yeah, they have got a lot of Scottish, I was going to say stuff, but related things still in Dunedin. Even the Highlanders. I'm kicking this one towards the touchline. The Brumbies have opted against going for the 3 this time. I think if the Drua can keep their discipline under control, then I believe they can take it. Cheer from New Zealand says 1 nudes 1. Yeah, nicely claimed by... Yeah, that is a really bad one. And that's from Rabitu, who's already had a yellow card. So he got very lucky to not have another one. 2 Auckland sides on tonight, Blues and Auckland FC. Next points on the boards will be crucial. Yeah, if the Brumbies score right now and put them in a good position, if the Drua concede a penalty now, there we go. Advantage offside. Joe Tamani, actually the man I heard there, number 6. Now, Brumbies, perfect position to create an attack now. Draw and pass. And another drop ball. I'll go back for the original advantage for being offside against Joe Tamani. It's hard to tackle the Chiefs in their own backyard now, getting a little bit closer. Knock on, though, from the Brumbies. The hands have let them down again. This is a weird game at the moment, ladies and gents. Because, you know, we're just in that situation of there should be more balls being caught by the Brumbies. But every time that they try and catch it, it just seems to sneak through the hands. Thank you so much. Says Rose there. Now, another scrum taking place. Kuravuli, eyes wide open. Looking around, handling errors. There we go. Brumbies 15. compared to the 2 of the Fijian Drua. Now, of course, the Fijian Drua have had less possession, but 15 handling errors from a side like the Brumbies. Like, yes, rust is a thing, right? But this has just been on another level in terms of the amount of drop balls. Humidity must be high. It is. But 15. Like, 15's and 45 minutes down as well. So we've still got another 35. It's got to be highest for the Brumbies in a very long time. Now Billy Pollard, he will have the line-out throw. The smiling face from Rugby Union and Sports there. Now claimed by the Brumbies at line-out time. That one has not been dropped. Larkham is going bald and grey by the minute. Says reflecting trees. Yeah, it's certainly not what he would have asked of his side. Now, not Alicio. They're brave, though. They keep going to the sky, hoping to get those high balls. Oh. What's happened here? Injury for, I think that's Luke Raymer. Has stayed down. I know Luke Raymer, it's actually, I think he was knocked out. Is there a big crowd? It's not too bad. It's not sold out, I don't believe, but still a decent attendance. Rain started yet. Just at halftime when they were running back out, I think I saw a few drops. It's not like heavy yet, though, I don't believe. Brumbies should keep their eyes on the ball rather than looking at the opposition. And to be fair, when you've got the Drua, oh, okay, I think it was the knee on the way down from Tavera Ikanaveri. Nothing in it was foul play or anything along those lines with the Evan Open. Handling going to get worse for the Brumbies, says Kerr. Yeah. Playing a little bit of YMCA, or YMCA, I should say, by the sounds of it. Mavalive Mera. He's about to make his way onto the field. Of course, it was Luke Raymer, though, who did take the big knock. Is the Prime Minister Arabuka in the crowd? If he is, I haven't spotted him. But also, I should mention, I don't know what he looks like. So they might have shown him already, and I just didn't know it. That bloke, number 20 for the Brumbies, Salmasue, looks like a combination of if Jerome Kano and maybe someone like a Peter Lakai had a child. Yeah, that's actually a decent shout from myself. Judah Samaisui. We're going to look him up quickly. Judah Samaisui. Hard name to spell, to be fair. Samaisui. Any images of him? Where is he? Jerome Kano, kind of. How do I get a picture of him that isn't copyrighted? There we go. I'm going to save that one. We're going to show it on the screen in a very short moment, hopefully. He has a bear of a man, says Kerr. And up the Black Caps that the Highlanders were robbed, says Rugby Union. I don't think they were robbed. They just unfortunately made a really poor decision in terms of making Cam Miller take the first kick that he did, rather than having, you know, the familiarity of Sam Gilbert. Like, Gilbert was getting all of his kicks over. It's becoming a lot more difficult to get a picture because that was a web file. But yeah, Judah Samaisui, if you look him up, or if you can see the game, he does look like he's a combination of Peter Lakai and Jerome Kano. Big boy, though, in the background by the looks of it. Be a handy player here. Robbed by cheap cards. He's good. Is he 20 for the Brumbies? Yep. That's the one. Do you think that NFL guy, Jordan Amalata, I could make the Wallabies? 166 kgs. He's certainly a tank. But, yeah, I don't know, if I'm honest. Like, they might consider... Where else would you play him other than, I guess, prop? Probably be, lock, maybe? Because of that height. But, like, that's a big boy. How much does Skelton weigh? If you gave him a dick punch, you'd only hurt your hand. That's probably a fair statement. Who's tried barbecue pork belly chips? I have not. Sounds all right, though. Now, going back across, Ryan Lonergan. On to Andy Muir here. The Brumbies in a good attacking position on the field, currently about 15 metres out from the try line. Lonergan goes back across again. I think Skelton is 140, 150. So yeah, to add an extra about 20 kgs on top of that is massive. Getting just that little bit closer. 7 phases in. Skelton's 145. Says Kerr. Lima has the carry. Now across, skip pass. Out wide to Billy Pollard. Oh, great attack and run forward. And he's just dragged down short of the try line. This is the chance, though, for the Brumbies. Ryan Lonergan forced backwards 5 metres from the line now. And Hamish Midday-All says, David the Mole, welcome in, mate. 10 phases in a row here for the Brumbies. There's another advantage for offside, but they score the try anyway. And it's going to be Reese Van Neck who does score it. I imagine the back weight change when he gets subbed. Yeah, that would be solid. I mean, imagine, like we're saying about Skelton, imagine him as one lock and Skelton as the other. 300 plus kgs across your 2 locks. That would be insane. They taste like pork crackle. Be good to see Mailata versus Etzebeth in a shoot grab. Would be an interesting one. Although by the sounds of it, Etzebeth still dealing with one of his past concussions a little bit. There's rumours he might hang up international and maybe even like rugby in general. I hope it's not the case. But yeah, sounds like one of his past concussions is still giving him a bit of grief at the moment. Brumbies might pull it off. Says too wavy. Yeah, now that they've got the lead. Important kick for Noah Lalicio, but he has managed to nail it. The hooker would get crushed from behind with those 2 locks. Yeah, he's going to have a very strong neck. Because if he doesn't, he's just going to get folded up every time. Whereas Ravatamanda, he is not playing for this game, I believe. Injury for him, which is why he is not there. At 24 points to 20 and 30 minutes remaining in this match. I'll be back. Can we shoot off to the TAB to put a bet on the Blues? How much time do I have? You've still got another hour and 15 or so before that match starts. This is where I worry drawers start trying things when they get let. Oh, they should let. And discipline starts to go. And there's still a lot of points in this game. Yep, exactly right. I think both of these sides have a good chance of making it to 30. By the end, another drop ball. 2 drop balls in a row for the Brumbies, but luckily for them, both of them went backwards rather than forwards. Being told to use it again now. Do you think Fijian will make a comeback? I think that if they're going to, they need to be the next team to score. I think if Brumbies get one more, that's them clear. But the Drua have got a tendency of scoring tries extremely quickly. So that might also be a factor to look at. Drua are hard to beat at home. That's true. They've had some great wins in the past. Goddard now on the field for Ryan Lonergan, I see. And yeah, about the points still being a lot. Who do you think will win? Honestly, it could go either way. Drua's discipline is the deciding factor. Yes, the Brumbies are dropping the ball a lot, but they've still scored tries throughout this one. It shouldn't drop 2 balls that quick unless you're in the early teens. Says Kerr. I get the reference. Lamani just came on. Says Bill. And Lachlan Lonergan also making his way onto the field for Billy Pollard. Scoop is off. Now Lamani firing this off to the right-hand side. Almost a steal there for the Brumbies. Lamani back to David and a very inside ball. Poor decision. Runner wasn't ready for it, and Vuthi is disappointed. What do you think about the draw? I love watching them play. I think that they bring some passion to Super Rugby. They bring a bit of creative, unique rugby. And I think it's great that them and Moana Pacifica were both added into the comp. It adds something extra rather than just New Zealand versus Australia all the time. You got that Fijian flair included. As Caleb Munt's playing well, it's going to sound harsh, but I think he's been a bit poor this game. Overall, we haven't really seen that Fijian backline really function, but a lot of that is down to the amount of handling errors we've seen and also a bit of that ill discipline, but like, he hasn't been terrible. Oh, here comes the big man for Samisui. Goddard off to Lachlan Lonergan. I think Moana Pacifica is going to beat the Force. They have a decent crack, although I think they come in as the second biggest underdogs of the weekend. That one's going to be kicked in a touch. Is that a 50-22? No, instead just going to be the line out in the drawer. They're going to be about 5 metres out from their line now. And it's first week back, so we can forgive a lot. Important thing is that teams look like they're getting back from time off in a good game. Sears Kerr. Yeah, and I feel like both of these sides would have learnt their fair share from this match. The Brumbies, they'll be probably the main talking point is how can we secure that ball a lot better than we did. But like I said, even with that, they still scored tries throughout this match. Frank Lamani back into the pocket to Caleb Muntz. Does have to kick this one towards the touchline. Another sub has been made for the Brumbies. That is Shaw off and Cadron Neville on. Still in their own half here, the Fijian Drua. Needed a good exit. It does look like it's got a lot more overcast in the background. So perhaps the rain could be falling at the moment. I can't quite tell from the faraway camera. Off to the right-hand side, Andy Muirhead wrestled down well by the Drua defence. Karawalevu that managed to get the turnover there for the Drua. Lamani offside by a country mile there for the Brumbies. Fun neck. I have no idea how that's not ruled as offside. Unless they're trying to say that the ball was already being played. Beautiful fend there from Whanakaivata. Ball on the inside to Lamani. Has the pass and scoring is Karawalevu. And the Fijian Drua back in the lead. And Glenn Jackson, I'll be damned, excellent Chiefs Waikato player back in the day. And Brumbies are struggling Drua as the win on us, mate, says JD. And that is a great finish from the Fijian Drua. That's exactly what the Drua needed at this point in time, bringing us 25 minutes of all-out action for the last part of the game. And yeah, it's a good effort from Lamani to try and get that ball backwards. Looked flat, but I think it was all right for that last pass. But Ilya Whanakaivata, great bursting run from the big number 8. Just a really good last link-up play from the Drua as well. Well done, the Drua, says JD, and try, and the crowd goes wild, and Zebra causing upsets in the URC, beating Ulster last time in Edinburgh last night. Says Johan, that one's hit the post and come back out for months. First miss of the day. So, like, in terms of his overall game, hasn't missed many kicks. And has missed none, in fact. But yeah, just attacking-wise, we haven't seen a huge amount of them compared to normal. Come on, Drua, maintain your discipline. Brumbies need to muscle up on defence, says James Speed. Now, Nololesio, ready to kick this one off again for the Brumbies. Drua, almost a miscommunication, but a good loud shout from Punipati Loganamasi. Gets the ball in his grasp. Lamani goes back across to the right-hand side now. Now again, great to be here again. Says Lucky Lachlan. Welcome in, Lachlan. Only 5 metres out from the line, Caleb Muntz. Good clearing kick. Starting to come into his own here in the second half. Blues Chiefs. Tonight exciting, says Lucky Lachlan. Yeah, that's going to be a great game. Kicking off in only an hour and 5 minutes time. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Not much of an upset, Edinburgh are bad, says Kerr. Off to the right-hand side. Once again, Samasui. And Goddard. Across to Linton. Or Linton, I should say. Oh, another knock on from the Brumbies. It is happening thick and fast out there on the field today. Ulster and Dire Straits as well. Not looking good there right now, says Kerr. That handling error count has now gone up to 16. I think that's only... Is that 16 that have gone forward? No, there was the double drop earlier on off that kickoff. I don't know whether or not that was included, but it is a drinks break, ladies and gents, so be sure to grab your beverages. But very close game. In fact, Super Rugby round 1 has been delivering in terms of the closeness of the matches. And we have there in the Brumbies. What do you think? The Brumbies, once again, I think that even with all these handling errors, they are still strong enough to win this game. But it's whether or not the Drua's discipline makes them lose it. Is drop goal finish a possibility? I don't know about a drop goal, but I do think maybe a penalty near the end of the game could be a bit of a decider. And Osprey's only 3 away from Leinster is more of an upset. Although Leinster and Glasgow both have the problem of losing huge numbers. Players for the Six Nations, says Kerr. That is true. Because they still have, I think it's 2 or 3 rounds of the URC during the Six Nations, don't they? There, I agree. Amish says, David, the might keep up the draw. Do not lose. Still 23 minutes left. That's a long time. A lot of early subs for these teams too. Who's playing Six Nations this weekend? No one. So this weekend it's the URC, and then next weekend it's into the Six Nations. But yeah, 2 South African derbies are the ones we're covering for the URC on the channel this weekend. So I do recommend sticking around for those ones. It's going to be the Lions taking on the Stormers, and then also the Bulls going head-to-head with the Fijians. Well, sorry, not the Fijians, the Sharks, I should say. And let's go, says Rose. Like I've said, a lot of FIJIAN DRUA merchandise has been sold by the looks of it. And yeah, another 4 to go. I actually think, actually taking into account players won't return for a week off in the Six Nations in case of injury, says Kerr. Yeah, that's true. You don't really want to risk it, do you, by coming back and playing. Looks like another penalty. This time, it's going to go against the Brumbies at scrum time. Wales can still beat the home countries and win line seats on the plane. Where's Warren Gatlin off to? I think he's just decided he's going to retire, or at least he's going to take a little bit of time off anyway. It's not easy to beat the draw at home, says Linton. That is true. They're a tough side to beat on any given day when they are in Suva or when they're in any part of Fiji. Mr. South Africans in Super Rugby Comp, says David. And Brumbies Gallop way back to act, says JD. Right, the Drua have retained the line out. They are currently sitting about 25 metres out from the line, and they have got a 1-point lead, so a converted try here might be just enough to win them this game. But still plenty of time, like I said. That clock is about 6 minutes fast. Especially hard to beat the draw away for a cold team like the Brumbies or the Highlanders. Now the loose ball draw, dropping it. Ball's gone into touch. And a very good kick downfield. We have got there, it's closed, Bulla Fiji Bulla. Just one more try, says Moa Hunters. I'll be very surprised if Wales beat anyone, and surprised if you find more than 2 Welsh Lions in summer. And one more hot try, and discipline and fitness will win it for the drawer, says David there too. Yeah, with it being the first game, yes, these guys will be fit, but sometimes playing in an actual match just hits a little bit differently when the pressure's on, the adrenaline's flowing. Just got to make sure you're doing the simple things right. Almost a handling error there for the drawer. The pass wasn't the best, but it's well regathered. Lamani going off now to Tuedreki Samusamavore. Davide Canaveri, the co-captain, all over the ball there for the Brumbies, and he does get the clean steal there. Cadron Neville, drop ball though from Lachlan Lonergan. And the Drua now slapping it back on their side. Running this one forward, going for the cross kick. Sits up. Oh, knock on from Logan Amasi too. So close. Sivo Masu, arguably the most underrated centre in the world. Fiji need to reward him more. There's Linton. And yeah, he is struggling in terms of minutes for the Fijian international team, but that is also because when you look through at the centres they have, Nayatha Levu, Tuisova when he's playing there rather than out on the wing. You've got Semi Randrandra. But there are world-class centres coming out of Fiji each and every time But Osifo Masi definitely is up there in terms of those guys, 70 plus defenders beaten last year in Super Rugby, which is just insane. Where are you from? So I am from New Zealand in the South Island. Yeah, just the knock on from Logana Masi there. It's not an off week or two for Wales. They have a mountain to the climb to beat any of the home nations. Does Masi play in France? He does not. He's still playing for the FIJIAN DRUA. It may not be long, though, before one of those French clubs do offer him a contract, like Vinaya Habossi. Did end up having loose ball picked up, and that is going to be another try. Karawa Levu between the sticks. Mistake made from the Brumbies. Another handling error. And that might just about, well, we've still got a quarter of the game to go, but they'll be liking that very much, the FIJIAN DRUA, in terms of momentum. Mavoate, Karawa Levu, right place, right time, loose ball picked up, and scores it between the posts. Could that be the game? Noah Lolesio looking for the pass. It was the big hit that caused him to rush it. And then another try coming in for the draw. It was Osifo Masi who put in the hit. And what's a halftime score? Halftime score, FIJIAN DRUA were ahead 20 points to 17. Full-time score, getting closer. They're currently ahead by 8. Kick has gone over, like I said, 32 points to 24. Did Noah choke? I think he just got hit with a really good shot and really didn't have anyone else with him. That's great work from Osifo Masi. The way that he was able to, he was following Corey Toole, then switched his target by having to slip in the right direction. But just the directional change is what brought it. Noah Lolesio thought he had more time till Masi got in his face. It looks like another change is about to be made. Penny Watawalu to make his way on. Oh, no. Oh, no. Osifo Masi. Leg injury here by the looks of it. He is going to limp off the field. Hopefully nothing too serious, as that was a massive moment in this game. I know Stain wants them back and Super because he thinks they're too good for the URC. A very strange opinion given where South Africa sides are in the URC. I've not seen it being confirmed anywhere. Says Kerr. Oh, good hands from Karawa Levu. Got it, draw at home is a game for anyone. Says Linton. Now back across to the right-hand side. Referee just pretty much saying, let that ball come in. It's going to be a quick tap taken now by the FIJIAN DRUA after they get the penalty. Frank Lamani drops the ball. And now, big attack and run for Corey Toole. Little chip in behind from Hudson Creighton. It's going to roll out about 5 metres out from the line. Great work there as well. Just saying, just losing that one in contact. It's going to be a close one overall by the looks of it. We will go like that and like that as well. There we go. Another knock on from the Brumbies. 10 metres out from the try line. That is their own, I should mention. So the Draw have a long way up the field to go before they are out of trouble. Lamani kicks it, and it does go into touch. Ollie Satsford decides against the quick throw. Come on the draw, says Natui. Now 17 minutes left in this game, ladies and gentlemen. And don't see how the Cheetahs would play in Supers and other South African sides play in the URC. Only really the Bulls would compete in Supers. Says Kirk, good attack and run from Lachlan Lonergan. Breaks out of the tackle attempt of Ikanaveri. Goddard going right. Still time on the clock for the Brumbies. That was a forward pass and a drop ball as well. The Brumbies have got butter on their fingers. Because that is just, I don't know how they have dropped the ball as much as they have in this game. It's really strange. Like, yes, humidity, like I said, is a thing, but the FIJIAN DRUA have only dropped the ball maybe 5 times. The Brumbies are up to 20 now. So, interesting, to say the very least. It's home ground draw, let's go, says Natui there. Right, they're asking for them to set the scrum to the four South African sides currently in playoff places, improvement from last year. Says Kerr. Now, still plenty of time left. You're gonna hello is a sign that was in the stands. Not sure of the reference of that. Penalty, Fijian Drua, as a collapsed scrum leads to them with possession once again. And the option, kicking for the corner. Well, maybe not the corner, but at least kicking down towards the 22 Brumbies with buttered fingers. Says Mr. Billy. But yeah, I've never seen the Brumbies drop the ball so much. Oh, doesn't find touch, but it is a knock on. So actually, not the best play there from the Brumbies. They tried to keep the ball alive, which they did, but because the ball drifted forward afterwards, it means that it will be... Oh no, in fact, it wasn't touch, they say, so it will be a Fijian line out anyway. And Bulla keep up the good work, Fijian Drua, says Moa Hunters. Too early to play territory game for the draw? I think so. I think that 15 minutes in this game is a very long time. And the draw, missed the clean out. Went over the top of Luke Reimer for Samu Vore. And it means now that the Brumbies have relieved the pressure once more. A lot of good work from both of these sides breakdown-wise. And never give up, draw, it's home, says Natui there. Yeah, they're doing all right here. They just need to make sure that they aren't giving away those penalties. I only saw that given how many errors the Brumbies are making with the handling, says Kerr. Oh, I only say, yeah, it's probably a point in terms of the fact that the Brumbies, after a few phases, have been dropping the ball. Stolen by the draw at line-out time. And Tavera Ikanaveri now. 30 metres out from the try line here. Soa too wide. Stolen again by the Brumbies. Luke Reimer, 2 in a row. For a man who got absolutely walloped earlier in this game with a big shot. He's well and truly helping his side stay in it. Tough gig in Fiji. The heat and humidity aren't really things that most teams are used to, says King of Z. And how you doing the Blues game? We certainly are. Blues versus Chiefs happening in only 50 minutes time. I think we are starting our live stream in about 40 minutes, I believe. Give us just enough time to get some food or a snack of some sort. Won't be able to cook anything just yet. Yeah, Luke Reimer over the ball, causing problems. Impression boys, Butterfingers there, says Natui. Now, rolling maul starting again here for the Brumbies. How long? Oh, there's the handling error, but it's going to be a penalty because the Fijian draw player did slap it out of his hands. All time for food in between, says Kerr. Sifu and Ravatamanda will be too much for the drawer. Will be too much for the drawer. But those guys, like Masi's gone off with the injury. And Ravatamanda wasn't playing in this game. That's a great kick. Brilliant kick from the Brumbies. Am I the lonely sailor? You won't be lonely for long, though. You're going home in a few months. Got visitors, I'm sure, at certain points. And now 13 minutes left. Chance again. Are you actively playing rugby at the moment, mate? Are you a coach or fitness instructor, Kerr? Says JD. I just finished making tacos, says Robert. Sounds all right. Billy Pollard throws it in. Claimed by the Brumbies. Now rolling maul chance with Lachlan Lonergan hanging onto it at the back. The drawer forcing it sideways. They've defended it well, but Lonergan's within 2. I'm confused, says Kerr. And they reach over. It's Reimer again. This bloke is everywhere in the last 2 minutes. Getting 2 turnovers when Fiji and Draw were hot on attack. And now he's gone and got himself a try. He's recently come back on after passing his HIA. And he's just doing incredibly. I should take a coach maybe, or I should be a coach maybe. But I wouldn't take the Wales job, says Kerr. Yeah, great finish from Luke Reimer. That's going to bring it back to extremely close between these two sides. Time remaining on the clock too. No one wants the Welsh job. Says King of Z. Chance here from the sideline for Declan Meredith. It's up the Carver Fiji, clear for the Drua. And Meredith, it's stayed away to the left. So the score will remain 32 points to 29. Going to be close. Would the Brumbies, if they get a penalty out in front with a few minutes remaining, would they take the 3 to get it back to a draw? Or would they go for the win? Is that always the case, Hamish? Says David the Mod. Yeah. Right, sounds like they're going to be taking this one straight away. Brumbies at the moment do have themselves the bonus point if it stays like this for being within 7. Welsh overhaul and then Alwyn Jones as coach. Says Kerr. I've been here since 2021, hardly active due to work hours. Says JD, but it is greatly appreciated you sticking around for so long. We've got a few of the OGs, as they say. A few of the old school guys in the chat today, which is great to see. It's going to be a knock on from, I think that time, was it Samu Samovore or was it Tanakaivata? Oh, another mistake made by the Brumbies, but they'll go back for the original knock on from the Drua. Okay, Tavita Ikanaviri just asking the ref, was that advantage over? The ref says they didn't go anywhere, so no, it wasn't. It was actually Thanakaivata. Did drop that ball. And Kerr never played seniors rugby, says JD. I think from memory, Kerr's had a almost relatively good under 20s rugby career, I think it was, up until injury. And I'm back, Emmy. Now, it's going straight sideways, and there's going to be another scrum reset. 9 minutes left now. Stephen Larkin was an absolute legend in his day. He was deceptively fast. He carved the ABs a few times as well. So here's David. Just the 3 points separating these two sides. I think it's going to be the case right down to the wire. Looks like a couple players are cramping here. Injury for Melituni, just as we currently sit. And yeah, I had quite a good rugby career until injury stopped me ever playing again. So here's Kerr. Samu Tawaki. He's got a big smile on his face. It looks like he's going to be able to make his way back on. He looks ready, though, if he does come needed. What's that song? They're playing, it's an old school one, and I know the lyrics, but I don't know the name of the song. Like a Prayer, I think it is, actually. That might be the name. As Valentini still on for the Drua. From what I've seen, they brought on Penny Matawalu, and I believe that was for Kimu Valentini. All right, Joseph Sualia, the best player for the Waratahs last night. Cam Roigard a bit off. Yeah, he didn't have anywhere near his best game, Cam Roigard, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean that he won't find his rhythm. Right, Tawake's back on. Tooney is off. One more score for the Brumbies. Drua is over. Yeah, whoever scores, honestly, like, it's still early to say, but I'm about 95% sure next try wins. So if the Drua score next, they've won it. That one's probably obvious, but if the Brumbies score next, I do think it will still be enough for them to win. Madonna like a prayer. Says Mr. Billy going off to the left-hand side. The Brumbies in possession once again. Another mistake made. Really seem like they're all speaking different languages in that Brumbies backline. No one working together well. And for the Fijian Drua, wrestle towards the touchline was Penny Matawalu. Counter coming from the Brumbies. Ball is still on the side of the Drua. Roigard just giving people a false sense of safety and security. He's probably going to have a man-of-the-match performance next week up against the Drua, isn't he? Right, another counter-up coming from the Brumbies. Ball is out. Drua somehow still keep it. No, now the Brumbies get the penalty. They just up the tempo and up the aggression. Each breakdown straight in there, trying to create that turnover chance. What is the time at the moment? 73 minutes through this game, so still 7 minutes remaining in this matchup. It's going to be close. And like I said before, it is going to go down to the wire. Another very good kick from the Brumbies towards touch, about 6 metres out from the line. Just having a jump on it. Luke Raymer just once again locks over the ball. That's now 3 penalties that he's managed to win. Where is the penalty? Too far out for them to kick for the post. So instead they've kicked towards the corner. But now, line out throw, Lachlan Lonergan. Ready to that one into Cadron Neville. There is a bit of rain falling, I saw, just from when they were showing the Brumbies dugout. Now Lonergan, they're being told to use it once. I think the Brumbies will back themselves to go in here. They're being told to use it because they're going backwards, but he breaks off the side there, Lonergan. Now round the side, Raymer again scores. Luke Raymer, I don't know what they gave him when he went off the field for the head knock, but he's come back on, got 3 turnovers, scored 2 tries, and possibly just won the Brumbies the game. They're just saying there in the commentary pretty much what I said. Whatever he's drunk when he's gone off, it's worked because he has upped the tempo. He has been on fire and he has just been doing absolutely everything right. Still 5 minutes remaining in this game. It's not over, but my comment of next try wins might still be the case. Anthony Tedesco has said, where's the conversion from? From about maybe 25 metres out, I'd say. It's about 10 metres to the side of the post where Raymer was able to score it. And Raymer from knocked out to man of the match. Yeah, like, I don't know what happened. Maybe the head knock helped him. In fact, this is probably about 30 metres out. Take him back a bit further for Declan Meredith, and this time he's got it over. That is such a crucial kick, as it now means that the Brumbies have moved up to 36, and the Drua need a try to get into the lead. It's over. Brumbies 1 says, hey, hey. And we have got there. Thanks, brother. Your commentary is fantastic, says Anthony. Thank you very much. We are going to be back for the next game between the Chiefs and the Blues. If you are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to this game going down to the wire. 4 minutes left on the clock. Now, going to take their time here with Harrison Goddard. Just being strategic. They don't need to rush this. Still 5 minutes to anyone's game. Exactly right. The Brumbies, they will feel like they've got the best momentum possible now to go on to win this game. But if they drop the ball again, that will be a problem. Going towards the touchline. Knock on from Corey Toole. They knocked on first. I think they were trying to ask for him being dragged back. Wait and watch his Drua's game, says say. And one more dry draw, please. And they gave him kick-ass, says they were. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but he's gone out there and just dominated in terms of everything that he's done. 3 turnovers won in a whole match is impressive, let alone when you've just come back from a massive head knock in the first half. Because he didn't exist the first 30 minutes or so. We hardly saw him. But as soon as he's come back out second half, he's on another level, it would seem. Miracles do happen, but not this time for the Drua, says Spider Mech. Yeah, 3.5 minutes remaining at the moment. The Fijian Drua to win this game are $4.80 underdogs. So they aren't given a huge chance here, but they also aren't given no chance. This game's wide open enough that honestly, it could happen. Wait and watch, says Seh. And I'm new here, and this is fantastic. Subscribed. And we'll be back. Awesome. And yeah, we've got plenty more coming up this weekend as well, I should mention. We've got the URC games happening in the middle of the night. We've still got another 3 live streams, about probably 6 more hours of me talking. So, yeah, it is great to have you here. Lamani with the scrum feed now for the Brumbies. If they were to win any sort of penalty, I think they would take the 3 here just to get a bit more of a lead, use up more time on the clock. But for now, the Drua, they are in position. Kick downfield, that's going to go into touch. Not quite as much distance on it for Logan Amasi as he would have liked. How's the time? At the moment, it is sitting with 3 minutes left on regular time. Game over from Rose, although still A little bit of time. What were the first half yellows for? So one of them was for a tip tackle and the other was for a deliberate knockdown. So 2 different things for 2 yellow cards for the Fijian Drua. Why did he kick it out? I think he wanted to kick it downfield more, to be honest, and it just kind of didn't bounce that way. Like, it seemed like it was going to be originally more of a tactic of get it as far as he could into the 22. Knock on by Blue. The advantage is in favour of the Brumbies with only 2 minutes left. I think the Drua almost have to just let this one flow for a little bit for the sake of not going back for that scrum. I heard in a pre-game that no Australian side has beaten a Drua or beaten the Drua in Fiji. Right, they will go back for that original scrum. And this could be a big moment in the game. If the Brumbies win this scrum, there's still time. If they win the scrum with a penalty, I would say that this game's pretty much over. But then if the Drua can somehow get a free kick or a penalty from this exact moment in the game, it could be their game for the taking. But the last 90 seconds, I think if you're the Brumbies, you try and milk a reset here. There we go, standing up. That's going to use up an extra 30 seconds. That's exactly what the tactic would have been. And there'll be some sore bodies in that Brumbies team after. Yeah, there's been some huge hits. Noah Lalicio, he's bounced back well from taking the shots that he did. At the moment, Luke Raymond definitely has man of the match secured after the way that he's come back when he made his way back on. Right, scrum is set. And the Brumbies get the ball in. And now away to the right-hand side. They will be passing this one. Hudson Creighton, why did he do that? Lamani just made a tackle off the ball. The Drua, have they got the turnover? No, they've given away the penalty. And off their feet, pass the ball, 30 seconds left. I think the Brumbies will just kick this one downfield towards the touchline. I got injured by a opposing team. Old mate couldn't tackle. Hoist me up and drop me on my shoulder out for 7 months. Says JD. I think, to be honest, that is why some of the numbers in New Zealand are dwindling a little bit when it comes to rugby. Not so much because people don't enjoy playing, but you're governed by other people's actions. Because a lot of the time when you get injured, definitely nowadays, it's not because you've done something wrong. You're just running the ball. But if someone on the other team decides to dump truck you, as they say, or tip you on your head, or clothesline you, give you a concussion, or anything like that, like, you're out for, like you said, 7 months, 9 months. Going to the front, that wasn't straight from the Brumbies, and that is going to be called as time, though. Runs it out, and that will be the end of the game. 36 points to 32. A bonus point for the Drua. So at the moment, the only side who hasn't received one at this stage is the Canes. But once again, a very close game and a good win for the Brumbies up against this Drua side. It was the discipline in the end that cost them. They almost were able to bulldoze through, but the Brumbies having 20-plus handling errors, they are definitely going to want to work on that before next week's game. And yeah, it's not great. I ended up 3 surgeries on my back, 2 on each shoulder from a nasty hit, out for life. Says Kerr. And I was thinking we've lost this match. Says JD, and great call, Hamish. Says David in there as well. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, about 30 minutes time, and we will be back for another live stream. The Chiefs taking on the Blues. So if you guys are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to go and grab a very quick snack, and then we will be back for that next Super Rugby match. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.